Precipitous as adjective. Done or taken quickly, suddenly, or unexpectedly, especially without careful consideration or adequate preparation. Steep, steeply sloping, or rising abruptly. The precipitous drop in the stock market caused widespread panic among investors. The climber was hesitant to attempt the precipitous climb up the steep mountain face. The sudden and precipitous increase in traffic overwhelmed the small town's infrastructure. The company's decision to lay off employees was met with a precipitous decline in morale. The doctor warned the patient of the precipitous consequences of not taking their medication. Paucity is noun, a scarcity or lack of something, especially something that is needed or desired, a small or insufficient amount of something. There was a paucity of fresh produce at the grocery store due to the recent storm. The paucity of available jobs in the area forced many residents to look for work elsewhere. The team struggled to score goals because of a paucity of skilled strikers. The paucity of funding for the arts meant that many local theaters had to close. The paucity of evidence meant that the case was dismissed by the court. Besotted as adjective. Characterized by being deeply and foolishly in love or infatuated. Overwhelmed by a strong feeling of affection or admiration. He was besotted with his new girlfriend, constantly talking about her and wanting to spend all his time with her. The fan was besotted with the musician, following them on tour and collecting all their albums and merchandise. She was besotted with her new puppy, doting on it and showering it with love and attention. The child was besotted with their favorite toy, refusing to go anywhere without it and sleeping with it every night. He was besotted with the idea of traveling the world, dreaming of exotic destinations, and planning out his adventures. Sordid as adjective. Dirty, filthy, or unclean, especially in a physical sense. Morally degraded or depraved, characterized by corruption or vice. The sordid details of the scandal were revealed in the news. He was involved in a sordid affair with a married woman. The living conditions in the tenement were sordid and unsafe. The sordid history of the organization was exposed by investigative reporters. The sordid reality of the drug trade was portrayed in the movie. Genteel as adjective. Elegant and polished. Refined and well-bred. Her genteel manners and refined speech were a reflection of her aristocratic upbringing. The restaurant had a genteel atmosphere, with soft lighting and classical music. The young woman was dressed in a genteel outfit of a pearl necklace and a flowy skirt. The town was known for its genteel society, where everyone was expected to behave with grace and decorum. Despite being from a humble background, he managed to fit into high society with his genteel behavior.
Sententious as adjective, containing or characterized by moralistic statements or observations, expressing oneself in a pompous, preachy, or overly serious manner. The professor's lectures were often sententious, full of pompous language and grandiose claims. The writer's style was sententious, relying on clichés and platitudes rather than originality and nuance. The judge's tone was sententious, as he delivered the harsh sentence to the defendant. The critic's review was sententious, dismissing the work as superficial and lacking in artistic merit. The politician's speeches were criticized for being sententious and lacking in empathy. Soporific as adjective, having a calming or tranquilizing effect, causing drowsiness or sluggishness, inducing or tending to induce sleep. The soporific effects of the medication made her feel drowsy. The professor's soporific lecture put most of the students to sleep. The book's soporific prose made it difficult to stay engaged. The repetitive nature of the job was soporific and tedious. The music had a soporific quality that helped her relax.
Obsequious as adjective. Excessively eager to please or comply with the wishes of others. Subservient or servile in attitude or behavior. The new employee's obsequious behavior towards their boss made others uncomfortable. The politician was criticized for being obsequious to lobbyists. The servant's obsequious attitude towards the wealthy family was expected. The salesman's obsequious tone annoyed the customer. The coach was not interested in obsequious players, but rather those who challenged him. Patent as verb. To legally secure a right to an invention or discovery. To secure exclusive rights to. The company spent a lot of money to patent their new technology. He decided to patent his invention to protect it from being copied by others. She worked with a patent lawyer to ensure that her idea was properly protected. The musician learned how to patent his songs to prevent others from using them without permission. The process of patenting a new invention can be time-consuming and expensive. Histrionic as adjective. Attention-seeking behavior. Emotional overreaction. The politician's histrionic speech failed to convince anyone. The actor's histrionic portrayal of the character was over the top. The histrionic behavior of the child worried the parents. Her histrionic performance brought the audience to tears. His histrionic gestures made it difficult to take him seriously. Inviolate as adjective. Free from injury, harm, or damage. Not violated or infringed. Kept intact or unscathed. The sanctuary was considered inviolate by the people who sought refuge there. The human rights of every individual should be inviolate and protected by law. The terms of the agreement were inviolate and could not be altered without mutual consent. The privacy of personal communication is an inviolate right that must be respected by governments. The sacredness of the burial site was inviolate, and any desecration was considered a crime. Mundane as adjective. Concerned with the practical, everyday aspects of life. Ordinary or lacking interest or excitement. She found the repetitive nature of her daily routine to be quite mundane and boring. The speaker tried to make the mundane topic more interesting by injecting humor and personal anecdotes. The students struggled to stay engaged in the mundane lecture about basic algebra. The novel failed to capture the reader's attention due to its mundane plot and flat characters. His job was quite mundane, consisting mostly of paperwork and administrative tasks. Assiduously as adverb. In a manner characterized by dedication, diligence, and persistence, often involving careful attention to detail. With great care, attention, and effort, often implying thoroughness or dedication to a task or goal. She studied assiduously for the exam, poring over every chapter multiple times. The chef worked assiduously to perfect the recipe, adjusting ingredients meticulously. He practiced assiduously every day to improve his musical skills, playing for hours on end. The detective investigated the case assiduously, leaving no stone unturned in pursuit of clues. The writer revised his manuscript assiduously, editing and rewriting until it was polished to perfection. Palimpsest is noun, a manuscript, typically of papyrus or parchment, that has been written on more than once, with the earlier writing being only partially erased and still visible. Something that has been modified or reused many times over, often retaining trace elements of its previous forms or uses. The book contained a palimpsest, with the original text faintly visible beneath the new writing. The ancient artifact was a palimpsest, with layers of writing from different periods of history. The document was a palimpsest, with the original text hidden beneath layers of edits and revisions. The library's collection included several palimpsests that were being studied by scholars. The discovery of a palimpsest in the archive was a major breakthrough for historians. Cornucopia as noun, a symbol of abundance and nourishment, typically represented as a horn-shaped container overflowing with fruits, flowers, and grain, an abundant and varied supply of something. The Thanksgiving centerpiece was a beautiful cornucopia overflowing with autumnal fruits and vegetables. The farmer's market had a cornucopia of fresh, locally grown produce for sale. The antique store had a cornucopia of unique and interesting items, including vintage books and art prints. The garden was a cornucopia of colorful flowers, including tulips, daisies, and sunflowers. The festival offered a cornucopia of activities for families, including music performances, food trucks, and craft vendors. Parochial as adjective, limited in scope or outlook, narrow-minded, relating to or concerned with a particular parish or local area. The small town was known for its parochial attitudes towards outsiders. The politician's parochial views on immigration were criticized by many. The professor criticized the student for her parochial understanding of history. The company's parochial approach to business limited its growth potential. The school's parochial curriculum failed to prepare its students for the global economy. Sanguine as adjective, having or showing a confident and optimistic attitude. Optimistic or positive, especially in a cheerful or confident manner. Despite the setbacks, she remained sanguine about her prospects for success. The doctor was sanguine about the patient's chances of recovery. His sanguine personality made him a joy to be around, even in difficult times. The company's sanguine outlook helped to reassure investors during a period of uncertainty. The politician remained sanguine in the face of harsh criticism and personal attacks. Egregious as adjective, extremely bad in a way that is noticeable or striking, outstandingly bad or shocking. The company's egregious disregard for safety regulations led to a serious accident. The politician's egregious behavior was widely criticized by the public. The employee's egregious mistakes caused significant losses for the company. The teacher's egregious grading practices led to complaints from students and parents. The athlete committed an egregious foul during the game, resulting in a penalty. Summit as noun, a meeting between heads of state or other high-ranking officials, often to discuss important matters. The highest point of a hill or mountain. The two leaders met at the summit to discuss a possible resolution to the conflict. Climbing the summit of the mountain was a difficult but rewarding experience. The summit of the tower offered a breathtaking view of the city. The G7 summit brought together the leaders of the world's largest economies. The company held a summit with its stakeholders to discuss its future plans. Juggernaut as noun, a massive and overpowering force or object that crushes everything in its path. An unstoppable and irresistible force or power. The tech company had become a juggernaut in the industry, dominating the market. The political party was a juggernaut in the elections, winning by a large margin. The internet giant was a juggernaut in the tech world, acquiring smaller companies left and right. The restaurant chain had become a juggernaut in the fast food industry, with locations all over the country. The film franchise had become a juggernaut at the box office, with each movie earning millions of dollars. Ready to boost your English or ace the GRE? Meet the GRE Vocabulary app, a fun and effective way to master language. Learn advanced words with examples and audio. Master idioms, proverbs, and phrasal verbs. Enjoy quizzes, flashcards, and pronunciation tests. Customize your practice by difficulty or focus. Translate into 100+ languages with ease. Did you learn new words? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share my channel. Download now and start your journey to vocabulary mastery.